Hello, my friends. I cannot wait to show you all my Notion gift list and card list. You guys know that Notion is my second brain. I use it as my knowledge management system, and it helps me with all of the things. And of course, anything I create, I have to make it a little cute but functional. So I think you guys are really going to love this template. I'm going to dig right in and show you all the features, but know that if you do not want to create this yourself, you can go over to dreamsplansideas.com and check out the template, or you can go over to my community on Substack by going to nachesnow.com/Substack, and you can get this template and any other freebies and articles that I include in the community. So you all know this is my regular Notion page, and I'm going to just show you all how to duplicate a template if you decide to get my template or another template. So once you have this template open, you simply go here to the top right and hit the duplicate button, and this will duplicate the template into your Notion workspace. And you'll see if you get my template, I have instructions everywhere. And then I will also have an instruction page where I will include this video for quick reference. And of course, once you have this in your own Notion workspace, you can delete and customize anything you want. So let's talk about the template. So if you're using my template or if you're setting things up, I always like things to have a little flair. So I have this cover image with watercolor gifts with peonies on it. And then I also have an icon that also has the same theme to it. And for those new to Notion, no, you simply do that by hitting change cover, and you get a ton of options where you can use things that they already have in stock, or you can upload your own. And then the same with the icon, it gives you the same type of options. And so you can really customize any Notion template as much or as little as you want. You don't have to have any images or icons if you don't want them. So let's get into the meat and guts of the template. When you're creating or using a gift and card template, it's all about the people, right? And so depending on your circle, friends and family, some of you guys might have short lists, some of you all might have a long list. And if you give cards to work people, you might also have a work list and so forth. And so I've made this template super flexible. I also made it where you can really highlight people that are very special in your life. So everything is driven by this people section. When you hit the new button, a template will come up, and this is where you would put a person's name. You can also put like what your relationship is with them. You will only put, and you'll see why in a second, an image if you want people to show up in the gallery section. So I kind of set this up for like only special people in my life. Everybody else will go just to the other tab, which is addresses, which I'll show you. So just remember, for me, I'm only going to add images to my person if I want them to show up in my little special tab. You can also add birthdays here. I'll get into this. This gift idea is linked to another database that's within this template, where you can put a ton of items that you find online that you think might be great gift ideas for someone in your life. And then I love this gift status because at all times, if you need to research, order, make, or wrap your gift. And then you have the in progress. And then you also have complete. You have budget, what the actual price is. You'll see in a second how this little card, birthday card, and regular card checkbox comes into play for holiday cards. And then this is another key area. So just like the image is very special because it controls who shows up in your gallery, the card list and the gift list is also very special because you'll see later on in the template, you'll be able to filter your list by Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day, depending on, who you put on that list. So for example, let's say if I was adding, my mother here, maybe for her, you could, you might add her for Mother's Day. You also might want to get her a Christmas gift. And you might also want to get her something for Valentine's Day. And so if you have her on the card list for that, you can also put her, maybe you're just going to give her a gift on Mother's Day and for Christmas. Then you would say, for gifts, I want to give her gifts on these two occasions. And now that you've determined that you want to give her cards for these three occasions and these gifts for these two occasions, when you see the table that I'll get to in a second, you'll see how you can easily figure out, like, okay, these are the people I need to get gifts for Mother's Day, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and so forth. I also have an area that you can add addresses to, and then ignore these two. They're just formulas based on if you put a birthday in there for somebody, there's another area that will do the calculations for you about when their next birthday is and how old they are if you put the year that they were born. I am just going to get rid of this for now, or just delete it. Let me just delete that and then show you how all of this works together. Also, one other thing that I want to mention for this template is if you go to the little flyaway next to new, and you could go here and you can do edit. And this is where, let's say if for the gift list, you can hit edit property. And the options that show up, you can add options and you can take options away. I just put in kind of like a generic, some of the most popular holidays or events within the US. I am for sure I have missed a ton. So please know that that was not done intentionally. I just, went by a generic list. But the nice thing about Notion is you can add and customize this list yourself. So please just remember you could go edit the template and then even change, for example, the gift status. So if I go to edit property here, this is where I can add a gift status or I can delete a gift status, right? And you could also move these around as far as order. I don't want to get too in the weeds with this because then that gets into like just teaching how to use Notion. But for those who are familiar with Notion, know that the template that I created, you could go into the template and you can easily edit it. Okay, so what happens once you add someone into your database? Well, if you added an image, their information will go here. Is this my real family? No, this is not my real family. These images are from Unsplash and they are my fake family, okay? Because this is on the internet and I'm not trying to have everything out here in these streets. So let's click on my fake mom. So you see an image was added here for her, which is why she's showing up in the gallery section. You see I've added a birthday and I've added a gift idea, a budget, actual price, and so forth. I'll get to the gift idea in a second, but you see everybody here is here because I added an image for them. If I go into the address section, you'll see that there is a fake person named Helen Smith. She is not in the gallery section. And that is because I didn't add an image for Helen because Helen is a friend. Or, I can even have her, for example, as a coworker, right? And maybe I just, want to give her a card on Christmas, which I've had added here, but I don't want to necessarily have her in my gallery section and see her all the time when I open my list because I want to reserve that for only special people. You can, of course, set it up however you want, but this is how I've just set it up initially. And then you see here, she's showing up in the address section because I've added an address for her. Also, what I want to mention is for each one of these, filter and assort is being used. So I have it here only show me the people that have addresses. So the filter is set up if the address is not empty. But let's say you're doing a card list and you're going to just hand it to people, and you're not going to have addresses for them. You can simply click here and remove this filter and hit delete filter, and then it'll show you everybody regardless if they have an address or not. So you guys know Notion, it's super flexible. I've set it up a specific way because I think this is really helpful and useful to people. At least it was helpful and useful to me. But no, again, you could customize it however you want. So that is the people section, where as soon as you add people, you have the image section for your special family and friends, and then the address section for every person that you put into the database. Over to the right, we have birthdays. And so if you put a birthday in for someone, they will show in this section. I just thought it was nice whenever you come into your gift and card list organizer that you kind of see a list of birthdays coming up. You probably already have them in your calendar, but this just serves as an extra reminder. So remember, I had a little button for if you've given someone a card or not, a birthday card. And this is this button here. So as the year goes on, you could just simply click if you've given them a card or not. So just, like I said, easy, simple visual way to see who you've given a card to. I have it set up where you can see people's birthdays and they don't go away after you've clicked that you've given them a card. But of course, you could come in here and you could set it up however you like, my friends. Okay, so that is the top of the template, people, birthdays, and then you get down to gifts and cards. Okay, so here is where the magic happens. I'm gonna do DeAndre here. And here I have said, okay, I want him to get a Christmas card and gift, and I want him to get a Valentine's Day card and gift. And so when I go here, when you go to filter, you see you can click what list you want. So I'm going to click off of Christmas list, and then I'm going to tell Notion to only show me people on my Valentine's Day list. And you see he is on my Valentine's Day list. So he'll show up. So when Valentine's Day approaches, I will see like, okay, I need to get a gift for DeAndre. And then I have like the actual price, the budget. I have the gift status, so I could change the status so I know what that is. And then I also have where I could click to know if I've also like purchased a card or not for this occasion. And just to show you how it filters in, let's say my bestie here, I'm like, oh, I want to give her a Valentine's gift too because she's amazing. So I go to her card and I'm going to add Valentine's Day. I'm going to click off, and you see she is now on my list for Valentine's Day. And so it's just super simple, super easy. I'm going to go back to my Christmas list because I have everybody on the Christmas list. And then same for cards, right? And I have a separate area for gifts and cards because for some people, they have big card lists that they give out because maybe they're not giving gifts to everyone, but they're giving cards to everyone at their work. And then they have family out of town that they want to give cards to. And so this is kind of like an easy way to just see all the people that you need to give cards to. And then you can also click if you've, addressed the card and it's ready to mail out. Like you can use this checklist however you want. For me, I do give out about 30 to 40 cards for Christmas, for example, and I hand letter all my cards. So for me, the way I'll use this list is I'll see all the addresses, and as I do the hand lettering address, write in my message, as soon as it's ready to be mailed, I will then kind of click so then I know which ones that I have completed. And again, this list, if you go to card list here, this will where you can simply, here I'm saying only show me Valentine's Day. I can do Christmas, whatever tags that you've set up and whatever tags that you've selected for people, you can quickly sort that list so then you know exactly who you need to give cards to for any given occasion. So I love this. One thing that I forgot to mention too on the gift list, if you choose to, if you put the actual price of an item and then what you've budgeted for each person, I have it where it's summed at the bottom. So then you can kind of keep track of if you are on budget or not on budget. So that's just kind of like an easy way for you to manage your finances. And then we have the gift database. Love this. As you see something, you can add in the gift to the database. So I'm going to give an example of that. Okay, so let's say I'm online and I'm like, I see this really cool flatware. And I'm like, oh, this will make a great gift for my friend or anyone who has a new home that has like a modern home. Well, I can download this image. And once I download that image, I could come here, I could go new, and I will cut and paste the name here. I'm going to put the category as home. I think the cost was $129. I am going to copy the URL but it's also called Jazz Up Co. So the store is Jazz Up Co. I'm going to paste in the URL. I am going to go to choose file. If I was doing a handmade gift, I could also add a material list here, and I could, put the cost of materials. So depending on if you handmade gifts or not, you could customize this to work for that, where you have like the list of materials and maybe a picture of like an idea of what you want to make. So this works for handmade gifts and gifts that you want to purchase. And here is the people section. And so let's say if I'm like, oh, I think this would be good for my bestie, I can click bestie and then it'll show up for her, which I'll show you in a second. But I'm going to click off of here and you'll see this is now in my gift database. I also have it where there are filters set up. And if I click home, I can have all the home items. So as you add stuff in here, if you want to be able to quickly get to things that you thought were a good idea, you can definitely come in here and easily like search stuff by category. You could also just search, right, by name. But I wanted a couple of different ways that you can find stuff as your database grows. If I come up here, number one, under gifts, you'll see for bestie, she has like 3 things now. But if I open her profile, let me just put this in the center. I can like say, you know what? I'm not going to get her that. I think I really want to get her that flatware. Then I can quickly adjust what gift ideas that I want to get for her. Her budget was only $50. So I would have to be like, ooh, the actual price is $129. If I go back, I'll see that I'm grossly over budget. And so then I can make a decision like, ooh, do I splurge, on that for her? Or do I go back and maybe hit that plus sign and just get that tumbler instead? And the tumbler, if I click tumbler, it was $39.40. Under people, I'm going to go back to bestie. And then I'm going to change that to $39.40. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's better than the flatware. So I can take that off. So you see how you can like play around with ideas you want to give people. And then you can also just make sure that you are staying within budget. Another way to populate this gift database, Let's say Taylor's here, my fake family member, my fake niece. I said I was going to make something for her. But let's say if I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'll have time to make something for her. What I could do is I could hit this plus sign under gift ideas. Let's say I wanted to give her a star map. I could literally click star map and I can have it create a new entry in the gift database. And you see that entry is now in there. There's no details in there because I've just added it really quickly, but I can click on that and then I could do gift ideas. I would consider this home decor and you'll see why in a second. I think let me check the cost. All right, so here's like the star map that I'm like, oh, this might be good for her. I believe the cost is between $50 and $90, but I can paste in the URL here, which is super long. I could say the cost is $50. The store is the night sky, and I'll add a photo, and then voila. I can click off, or if I wanted to, I could go back to her profile if I wanted to. And another thing that I wanted to mention that is under each people section is items that they've mentioned. So let's say if you're out, for Thanksgiving dinner or just dinner period or on the phone with someone and they mention something that they like, you can add that to a list of items that they mentioned to help you with birthday gifts, holiday gifts. And then also, if you want to, you could track gifts that you've purchased for them before. You could simply type it in, like, so maybe I've given her a tumbler before or whatever, or you could actually add something from the database if you would like. So let's say if, for example, I ended up giving her this star map, I can then link to that star map. I didn't show exactly how I did it because then you'll see all the inner workings of my Notion, but literally all you have to do is do hashtag page, link to a page, and once you link to a page, you just search the item that you want, and then you could actually add that into this area. So super easy. But anywho, that is the template. The only other thing that I'll mention, which is optional, is I added an inspiration section below. I am a big Pinterest person, so I have like secret boards, but in order for the inspiration to work, you would have to make your board open. And so I did some of my open boards, like my DIY Pinterest board, my ceramic idea Pinterest board. And so if you do have any open boards that'll help with your gift list, you can put it on here. If you have a private board, know that that private board won't show. And I give directions on how to embed that here. And then you can also put bookmarks to different things down below in order to just help inspire you to determine what gifts you want to give your friends and family. And so I hope you guys have found this useful. What I find is Notion works best for me, or anything, right? Any to-do list, anything that you have, is if you're using it often and you make it easy to use. I, for example, have widgets on my phone to different Notion pages. So as things come up, be it, I want to save a website, I want to now do this card list, whatever. As soon as something pops in my head, I click my widget, I add the thing, and it just becomes second nature. And so the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's like brushing your teeth. You just do it naturally. But anywho, I hope that you guys found this to be useful. And if you have any questions, please add it to the comment sections below. And if you would love to purchase this template for yourself versus creating it, please check me out again at dreamsplansideas.com, or as I said, the Substack community. It's a paid community, and I will be giving out templates like this and printable templates, and also writing articles related to productivity and home and finance and all the other things. So if you want to do that, that is money well spent. I think you could go over to nachesnow.com/Substack. Thank you for watching. Take care.